both the industry and the business is booming. It's been really exciting to see the growth. We were obviously very big before we got acquired, and we're seeing massive multiples of growth since then. Every single brand is different, but where we've seen the most success has been a center of excellence led in large part by media. The reason why influencer marketing is a $35 billion with a B TAM is because it is working. Now, the question is, can you measure how it's working and apply that to the best allocation of dollars? Listen, AI is not a dirty word. It has to be an augmentative or a tool as opposed to being just faceless, nameless accounts that are just putting out clickbait and misinformation. I'm supporting a human that happens to have AI as an amplification or augmentation. AI will solve a lot of the backroom speed and efficiency plays to be able to get things done faster between an agency and a brand or in between. I care most about in terms of where I think where consumers are going to spend their focus and be the most excited about a brand is when the name, image, and likeness, the NIL of a creator, even if they were to give it out to a larger model to do something which has guardrails on it, they're getting compensated for that. And they're saying, I endorse this.
This week on Next to Media, I caught up with Ryan Detert, CEO of Influential. The last time Ryan and I talked, Influential was an independent agency focused on creators. That was before Publicis placed a $500 million bet on the company aimed at accelerating brand work in the creator economy. So Ryan and I talked about how that's going and where creator advertising fits in the traditional agency model. Ryan also gave us the latest on the US version of TikTok and whether ad tech and creator integrations can coexist. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Next to Media. I'm Mike Shields. My guest this week is Ryan Detert. He is the CEO of Influential. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for being here.
Hey, brother. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
I'm excited to have you. You were on the show a couple of years ago, and suddenly you were acquired. So obviously that there you can make the connection there. But I wanted to talk to you. But give us like the latest. You guys are part of Publicis. What is the latest on the company and where you sit? You're still here, which is a good sign. What's going on?
Good luck, charm, Mike. It's been fantastic. I got acquired in mid to late 2024, and immediately saw massive growth as part of Publicis. We also acquired Captivate last summer as well.
Yeah,
really to build out the global offering of technology, services, measurement, all in one place. And the business, both the industry and the business is booming. It's been really exciting to see the growth. We were obviously very big before we got acquired, and we're seeing massive multiples of growth since then.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously hit the timing is perfect, right? That the market was coming to recognize the importance of the creator space more than ever. But these things can go wrong, right? Like it seems like it's like you've gotten what you needed to keep growing and adding to the pieces that you need.
I will say we jumped into the arms of the lion. They were also growing exponentially. So I think it was just a mix of multiple great things happening, winning a bunch of new business together, having tremendous clients even before that. I've heard horror stories. It's been fantastic for us, and we're really excited for the future.
Nice. On that note, I mean, I think that people are wondering, this is all happening. Obviously, the creators have been important for a number of years, but they've really this category has come to a head in the last couple of years with brands like really upping their spending and recognizing their importance. It seems like there's still some, I don't know, it's debate, but just like where do agencies put these guys is something that is up for discussion. Have you figured out where that is going? Is there a right way to do it? Is there always going to be a specialty group? The media group, creative, where should things fit?
Every single brand is different, but where we've seen the most success has been a center of excellence led in large part by media, because there's dollars put to amplify the content, both on social and off social. But step one is making sure that the teams can speak together. That's hence why we acquired Captivate.
Yeah,
technology we integrated as well. All of that to be able to have content, PR, comms, sponsorship, every possible group all have the same source of truth, as opposed to many of them operate in disparate teams. Even clients we have today, we have been elevating and augmenting things they've had just for years with other parts of their business or other partners. And just really how do you make it so that everyone has the same sheet to work off of, same
right.
knowledge?
Yeah, because it sounds like Yeah, I think in some cases, again, every brand is going to be different. In some cases, you're almost putting creators side by side with like the CTV television spend. In some cases, the creators are so tied into the brand's identity that they're part of the creative team. But it seems like the media needs to drive this in some fashion.
And really, if as you think about like the upside of using creators, the name, image, and likeness, whether it's on social or off social, over delivers or outperforms BAU, business as usual content.
Yeah.
So why would you just simply think of it as a native post and let it live just for that period of time on that person's feed, when you can in fact have it live other places, amplify it accordingly, digital out of home, CTV, gas station TV, programmatic, before movies through NCMs, a number of ways you can have the content that performs the best. And the best part about social, it's essentially a giant lab. It's the testing mechanism to see what performs best, and then applying that to the audience you want to speak to wherever they live the course of the day.
What are your thoughts? You mentioned like how technology is part of what you're doing. You're not just like, I think I'm generalizing, some influencer agencies just have a lot of relationships, maybe not a lot of tech. Others are different. There's there's an ongoing discussion about how much tech can play a role in rolling and scaling this business, where it's not display. It's not going to ever be like that, right? But everybody wants to make it a little bit faster and scalable. Like what role should tech or ad tech play here?
The good news is that the democratization of access to creators a few years ago became anyone can access any creator if they really want to. Certain companies are behind the times. They don't have any technology, but having 15 million plus creators like we do, if you want to speak to anyone, it's not hard for us to DM them, to notify them through all the different mechanisms. I think there's a few kind of key elements that technology has changed the game. The one that's the least sexy, but the most important, is brand safety. Hippocratic oath, do no harm. The power of influencer marketing can both make your brand or break it, depending on how you think about the vetting of the creators, assessing their online real world reputation, as well as sort of criminal records. We are checking for profanity, nudity, hate speech, all of those things. So that first surface level or first base level is to make sure that there's no negative impact.
And you got to rely on tech to do that. Like you can't just have a couple interns running around looking at stuff.
Correct. Like that. Yeah. To be able to look through the entire timeline history of 15 million plus creators, that would be enough time in the world for any person to do that.
Right.
And it does require that technology to flag it, and then a human to make sure that it's within the. And not every brand's the same. Some brand says, I want to be so G-rated that anything that even resembles a political post, that person. So it depends on kind of where each brand is in their kind of perception or their life cycle. Right. And then from there, you have, how do you then, it's a space shuttle launch. You're launching 10, 20, 100 creators in a very short time period, with dozens of pieces of content potentially per creator, depending on the size and scope of the business. You now have a requirement for the brand or the people that are approving this to be able to have a dashboard, to be able to look through this and make assessments very quickly, very organized, to have all that kind of the rundown of what has transpired in the past, legal review, all of that. If it's not technology, it's literally impossible. It would require,
because otherwise you're you're stuck in that everything is a one-off bespoke thing. Not that you won't have really customized partnerships, right? But you're going to limit yourself if you can't limit brand's potential in this space if you can't have something like that.
Correct. And in order to have what is incredibly important, which is an always-on creator strategy, you have to have technology to see what you did in the past. And it's essentially just a funnel. You're working through review of briefs, creator assessment, and suggestions, and then having those people go live with contracts. All of that has to happen with technology.
Speaking of tech and ad tech, it's funny, I was at Marketecture Live a couple of weeks ago, and that was, it's a heavy ad tech crowd. Everyone is talking about performance advertising and trying to make everything kind of operate like retail media, for example. And the creator space is so different. Not that it's not performant, but I wonder if are you getting pressure to figure out how this stuff fits in an outcomes based era, when so much of what creators offer is like this authenticity and this stuff that's hard to kind of quantify?
The reason why influencer marketing is a $35 billion with a B TAM is because it is working. Now, the question is, can you measure how it's working and apply that to the best allocation of dollars? Where we got special back in probably 2015, 2016, when the paid media elements became available on the social platforms and really mandatory to hit your entire audiences, we were able to innovate and partner with a series of everyone from time was IRI, now it's Circana, Nielsen's of the world, the Fall partners, TV tune-in partners. And we actually started to build the framework to measure the efficacy both online and offline. The people seeing that post, after doing that, they walk into a store at the register and buy XYZ CPG product. So that is a huge part of not just what makes us special, but also the growth of the spend by brands, as they can now both see the results and also to be stat sig. This is a stat sig for the market and the ability to measure it. You have to spend significant amounts of money a lot of times for those offline sales. On the online side, you can do it for much cheaper, but also depends on whether or not you're looking at a paid ad, click out link, a link in bio, a reference ID code. All of that is measurable, but it all leads back to what I think many brands are tapping into finally, is seeing that in their MMMs, the creators are not just PR.
That was actually one of my questions. You hear a lot from there's a renaissance for MMMs, and brands I guess they're easier and quicker to use. But then you hear different sectors of the industry say, "Well, I don't like MMMs. Don't make us look good." Right? You hear that from like the retail media guys, and I think creators is one of those where are they good at that? Are you finding there's a role there, or do you have to say to brands like, "Well, there's a lot of intangibles when you're trying to evaluate the space"?
The demand is there for it, and we're seeing largely good results, and some the best in like the mix of the different results and pieces. I guess the reason why what we take a look at is whether it performs well or not. That's the point of the MMM. We want to see how it's performing, but to be able to quantify and assess. So, for example, creators is not just some nebulous concept. There is per Meta, per TikTok, per the appropriate platforms for the creators. Are you putting paid behind it? Is it only native? That changes also. Right. Is it being used in digital out of home and CTV? That's a different part of it. So all of those things have to be quantified. And then you can say, well, of all the creator allocations I'm doing, you know what, really majority of the money or majority of the value is actually more in the paid side with the creative on social, less the out of home. All right, let's stop the out of home piece. I'll put more there, or vice versa. Hey, I'm actually seeing the value in the grocery stores using ad units that are happening in real life.
All right, you mentioned a couple of the platforms. Let's talk about YouTube. I think the last time we chatted, that we were just kind of like wrapping our heads around how big YouTube was getting on TV. Now it's, they're a dominant player, and you see the other their big competitors in short form, Instagram and TikTok, are trying to crack TV viewing. So I guess my question is, how has the YouTube on TV thing maybe changed the way you work with brands and creators? And then what do you think of the other guys trying to get in that world? It's a big question.
I'll make a blanket statement. I think that every single platform has FOMO. They wish they were they had the competitors, like the short form and long form. I will say that YouTube's been the most consistent as the dominant long form player because they pay the creators the most amount of share and most amount of money. And if I am a creator today, I will get more annuity revenue in my life probably from a YouTube if I create really great long form video. But what you don't get obviously is the meteoric rise that happens overnight. That's more of a TikTok play, Instagram play. So they've all kind of found different things they want to be best at, and they all want to Meta is a massive messaging platform. It's essentially DMs, and that stuff does not exist as much on TikTok. So I think every one of them go after that. I will say that all of them are going to play for attention, and the attention's not going to just simply be on the phone. It's going to be in more integrated, whether it's full,
and it's finite,
whether it's the headsets, whatever version.
The
screen is almost irrelevant. It's just the delivery mechanism and how people. When you go to TikTok, you think of it as an entertainment, joyful platform. Instagram's more aspirational. YouTube's more informational or more for familial. It's where I go see my people I've watched for 20 years. On YouTube. So each one has a certain POV from a consumer. They can all shift that accordingly, and with the amount of money that's available on the linear front, as it shifts more and more into other places, they're all gonna play for their piece of the pie.
Yeah, all those things you described would theoretically play on TV, aspirational or entertainment. I guess it's about the execution, and you got to train people that that's what they're looking for on television, which is just it's different. It's TikTok has always been a phone thing, for example.
Yeah, and then there's also the by appointment watching when people go live. Obviously, TikTok Live has been a big boon
Sure.
for them. Not necessarily from shopping yet, but shopping is coming soon. But just even the gifting platforms. If you guys anyone listening is familiar with the billions of dollars being made, so public information of the gifting that happens on these people that battle each other on go live. So just every platform has a live strategy. Every platform has a TV strategy, and a lot of those things coalesce into one strategy.
Looking to get more out of your YouTube advertising? With View Planner, you can buy with total confidence and clarity. View Planner is a verified YouTube brand suitability and contextual targeting partner in the YouTube measurement program. Recognized by Google as a trusted independent leader in driving and measuring performance on YouTube. Their advanced technology gives you a clear edge. Only with View Planner. We're talking custom curated contextual collections, exclusive content strategies, transparent reporting, and AI-driven optimization to deliver real results. Don't let your budget go to waste. Partner with View Planner and experience the difference. Visit viewplanner.com now to unlock your full advertising potential on YouTube. That's VUEPLANNER.com. Okay, getting back to the creator world, right? You kind of hinted at this. There have been a lot of reports coming out. The space is getting the TAM is huge. Just the dollars are there, but it's kind of top heavy right now. Like every brand starts with those top 10 they know, or that seems to be a challenge for them to dip deeper into the middle of the, what do you call the micro influencers or something else. How do brands need to start thinking broader, deeper, and how do they get there?
I will say majority of brands have figured out their always on creator strategy, which usually includes sometimes as low as nano, but micro, macro size talent.
Okay.
Top 100 top creators. We really deliver based on the client needs. We are the purveyors alongside with Forbes. Forbes is a top creator list that we curate with them every year. Year 4 now. So that's the top 50 earners. And then they also put their own journalistic and editorial spin on or lens to figure out what were the best top 50 for that year. But that starts first and foremost with creators defining how much they make, and those people may be the Mr. Beast and the Alex Coopers of the world that make 9 figures probably.
Right.
So those people still remain incredibly valuable. They're essentially Super Bowl spots in their own mediums. Today. So definitely think that those are a play. But if you want to see the greatest ROI normally, at least based on a bet of the course of the year, if you got $2 million to spend today with a major creator or 100 smaller creators, normally just based on how, if you have a general audience, so there's anyone that will has a mouth, maybe that's the case to go with Mr. Beast. But if you want to go after like moms in the Midwest that have an affinity for DIY, you have to identify those micro creators that will drive on ROI and have the lower CPM because they're actually in the audience you care about.
Yeah, it's actually not unlike if you're going to spend $5 million, you could buy one Super Bowl ad or go deep on a million different cable networks. Actually, this is just a little different amount.
100% same. Yeah.
Okay. What about obviously another big topic? You got to talk about AI, of course. There's a couple of things. There's like the rise of there are fears about AI slop, and I wonder if brands are worried about that or they don't care as long as people are enjoying that. And then there's the whole like AI creator thing that I still have trouble wrapping my head around. But let's take those one by one. What's the feeling about slop right now among brands?
Yeah, well, step one, most every brand has requested it, and we provide it, that it's full transparency. Any content made for branded content, any content made by a creator, that's denoted both in the platforms, but also by them saying, I do or don't use AI. Listen, AI is not a dirty word. It has to be an augmentative or a tool as opposed to being just faceless, nameless accounts that are just putting out, clickbait and, misinformation, all that kind of stuff. I think what we're going to see is, and it's, think about it as a consumer. If I'm going to go look at an AI channel and I know it's AI, it's probably because it's attached to a human or a concept or narrative that feels like a storyline that's human, not just a bunch of random things.
It didn't come out of nowhere. Like someone had made some decisions about what was going to be shown there.
So that will drive me as a consumer to go watch that. If someone, is a creator that I watch, especially as they grow and AI becomes more available for them and they use it better, they can create amazing worlds where they're at the center of it, and things that were big budget movies they could have done, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm supporting a human that happens to have AI as an amplification or augmentation. So I think ultimately brands today and in the future will be fine with AI as long as it's compensating humans for their ideas and humanity. And then it's not going to be something where there's going to be interstitial in between a bunch of, like, as they call it, AI slop, which could be any series of clickbait style, everything from cute baby animals to political stuff, all that stuff. Like, that's the problem I think people have, is the nameless, faceless version. But we are moving towards a scenario where AI and human are going to combine, preferably with the credit going to those that have the concepts and not just lost to like some LLM.
Now, what about the idea that creators will eventually will be able to use AI tech to put, use their likeness will be employed for 1,000 videos beyond that they could produce on their own, and brands could be part of that or not? Is that a good thing? Scary?
I think it's a good thing in terms of scale. And a lot of times I'm sure like the first version will be like for ad formats that would exist, across these different platforms. Maybe less on like the main feed right away, but it could affect that. I think all those are TBD in terms of the evolution of when those get allowed by both the brands as well as the consumers. I care most about in terms of where I think where consumers are going to spend their focus and be the most excited about a brand is when the name, image, and likeness, the NIL of a creator, even if they were to give it out to a larger model to do something, which has guardrails on it, they are getting compensated for that. And they're saying, I endorse this. You can use my my face, my mannerisms, my voice. I think that's a few years from now in terms of when they can essentially license that the way you can license.
And do we know that people are going to be okay with that or not? Like, I don't know. Are consumers going to care that this was a fake Dude Perfect video that felt real? Or I don't.
I think the ultimate test is you have to ask the question: if the consumer saw the denotation that says AI content on the top left of a meta or something, would they feel duped? Would they feel as though this is something that is not, authentic to the people that they see otherwise? And I think as time goes on, as long as it's like, and then maybe tags might change. Tags might evolve to like AI augmented versus like complete, like,
So people might be able to make the distinction.
It's going to require some like, evolution of the platforms and the consumer pieces. But I think for right now, like brands aren't asking us to go make 50 videos of XYZ creator, with AI. That's just not the request, because there's not currently use for it. And also the fear that if it was denoted that people would have a negative impact means that's why it's not ready yet to be in our feeds every day.
Now, you mentioned a couple times use the phrase "always on" as being where you're trying to push brands. What about, you're starting to see a lot more creators talk about seasons and episodic shows and, doing upfronty type things. Are you participating in those kind of conversations? And is that only going to be for like, the top 1% that is doing stuff like that?
That predominantly where the budget goes will be those places, but it's happening today anyway, where I am XYZ macro creator, have a few 100,000 followers on any given one of these platforms. And I'm a get ready with me creator. And that's and the pitch and offering is a GRWM around my crazy family life and how I get ready in the morning. Like, that's something that people are kind of creating as an episode and saying, I can, a thing I do every day, you can now have a piece of that. So it's happening organically already. And when I say the always on scenario, it's mainly a nod to brands that think Super Bowl, summertime, Christmas,
tentpole mentality,
holidays. Yes, but if you miss those in between parts, your competition is eating your lunch. And how do you have that always on beat. Well, it could be the same creator. You can have a series of 5 creators that all year long making content. Just don't
Sure.
don't go dark for 6 months.
Because most, at least of the established creators, they don't want to do a lot of one-off things, right? They prefer they're pushing towards longer deals.
100%. It's been this way for multiple years, and it was also efficiencies for a brand. If you get someone for a year, like you can say, hey, like I'm gonna, as opposed to a one-off price, I can get a bundle deal and across multiple platforms, and then they actually integrate that product truly in their lives, and then people feel the authenticity.
Sure. All right. Last thing is, I'll ask you to be a forecaster here. We talked about this moment you're in and this huge amount of excitement. The TAM is huge. Lots of groundwork to be like. Where is creative marketing in like 3 to 5 years? Like what are maybe people underestimating the space?
Creators are everywhere. And that will continue to be the case where in every medium, digital out of home, CTV, et cetera, they will be more prevalent. Measurement will continue to be top of the list. And I think we've already solved a good portion of it. There's always more to be solved in terms of what is available from the platforms. I think there'll be more integrations there. And then, yes, I think the first version that AI solves, and we've used AI for sourcing for years, and we couldn't do without it. Same with brand safety. AI will solve a lot of the backroom speed and efficiency plays to be able to get things done faster between an agency and a brand or anyone in between. And then I think while the AI content is like the best headline, we're still like in this uncanny valley, almost about to break it, but like people can still determine it's AI. It still hasn't been adopted by a majority of influencers yet. When that happens,
right,
it might be a moment, but I think it's still a couple years away.
Yeah, the operational stuff, the back end stuff will have a bigger impact than in the near term. It seems like to really grow the space.
100%.
Ryan, awesome stuff. Love to chat with you. Let's do this again sometime. Congratulations on the success.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. So.
Thanks again to my guest this week, Influential's Ryan Detert, and my partners at View Planner. If you like this week's episode, please take a moment to rate and leave a review. We have lots more to bring you, so please hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time for more on What's Next in Media. Thanks for listening.